There we go. This is Moshe coming to you from Israel and the Galilee. Well, for the past 3 days or so, we're hardly getting any rockets from Gaza, one a day or two. So it looks like they're finally bearing down, but Lebanon is picking up the rocket pace. Up in the north, they sent about 30 out at one burst. And when you look back at it, it would have been more intelligent to maybe 8 or 10 weeks ago just do a preemptive attack on Lebanon. But when you're dealing with Netanyahu and hidden agendas with the unclean spirits, you don't know what the heck is going on. Let's see. Iran captured a American oil tanker in the Sea of Oman. The Sea of Oman is where the Persian Gulf dumps out into bigger waterways. And I believe they took the ship captive, but the details are pretty sketchy right now. It's pretty recent. So there were videos of uniformed guys boarding the ship. They were, I don't know, Iranian Navy or who knows what. Iranian something. And apparently they captured the ship and the crew. And Iran announced publicly they did it. And they said that there was a court order from an Iranian court to do it because America had stolen the oil. You want to believe that stuff? Go ahead. I don't know what stolen the oil means. Maybe they took oil out of the oil fields in northeast Syria or something. I don't know. We'll find out as the details come out. And what do we think America will do about this? What it does about everything else. Not much of anything. You know, December 2023, last month, they released, we get mixed reports, $6 billion or $10 billion of sanction money to Iran. So does that sound like they really want to destroy Iran, or are they working the snare to destroy the USA? Obviously the snare. So what will America do? Send warships to the Persian Gulf. At the UN, it came out that Iran had transferred advanced drones and missiles, whatever advanced means, to Yemen. And like I said previously, they're using Yemen to test the defenses of the American warships. And so far, the defenses of the American warships have been quite excellent. So they probably have more advanced drones and missiles they gave to Yemen to test them against the American warships. And if they work out successfully, destroy or sink American warships, then we'll see Iran quite quickly take over the Persian Gulf. Now, they can't just test it on American warships. They got to try the other coalition warships too, because they could harm Iran. Great Britain said they're considering doing a ground invasion of the Houthis. Well, that's the first smart move I heard yet. Of course, they're correct. That's the only thing that will work. But the Houthis will resist till the cows come home. It'll be a big campaign. The citizens of Yemen will hate the Brits, sabotage them. It'd be... I don't think Britain got the stomach will or the resources for this. Now we're in the ICJ, International Criminal Court of Justice, whatever they call it. It's in The Hague, part of the UN in a way. And they started their trial on genocide regarding Israel, and Israel was trying to play videos of the atrocities that Hamas did on October 7th, and they didn't let that get admitted as evidence. So the legal argument would be, and I'm not a lawyer, but I could just understand some of these things as a non-lawyer. The legal argument would be that it's irrelevant what atrocities Hamas did. We're here to try and get the facts as to what Israel did regarding genocide, not what Hamas did. Got it? And they would justify that by saying two wrongs don't make a right. So even if Hamas did these atrocities, it doesn't open up the door for you to come back with your own atrocities, like genocide. So that it's just a mistake. Israel's not in the Hague Court, neither is the United States, Russia, China, Egypt, and India. So at least half the world doesn't participate in this Hague Court. So I'm not that concerned about it. But they could be cooking up a surprise that I'm not aware of. So we got to watch and see if they're cooking up some dastardly evil. Don't know. The negotiations with Hamas for hostages and a ceasefire, a permanent ceasefire, died. Netanyahu did go and discuss it with his cabinet, and they have no interest in dancing this dance with Hamas. Hamas is looking for a permanent ceasefire and withdrawal of troops. And, you know, it's just coming up with stupid ideas. Anyway, it's pretty dead. They were talking about a gradual withdrawal of the leaders of Hamas to other countries, and it just isn't going anywhere. The expectations or the requests that Hamas wants are just far too outrageous for Israel to take seriously. Thinking. Once Hamas has completely lost their rocket launching capability, there's not a lot they can do except get into gunfights with the soldiers, our soldiers. But, you know, for the most part, they're going to have armor. And, you know, I mean, it's not a good thing. But they're not affecting Israel at large now. So their impact is very, very limited. But Lebanon seems to be taking up the slack, but just at the Lebanese border area. So what happens next in Lebanon is a good guess. We'll keep a close eye on this one. And the Supreme Court of Israel rejected a petition to have Netanyahu removed from office based on violating the agreement that allowed him to run for office, stating that he wouldn't modify the judiciary, which he did. The Supreme Court said that he's no longer, since October 7th, attempting to modify the laws pertaining to the courts. The two laws he did manage to get passed, they struck down. So, of course, they didn't say that in their decision, but they know that. And they say right now Netanyahu's not doing any judicial reform, and we don't want to remove him. Reading between the lines, they don't want to remove him because it's the middle of a war and they're afraid to. And reading deeper into it, they're afraid of him possibly rejecting their court order and throwing the country into civil war while it's being attacked on several fronts, and that could be very fatalistic for many people in Israel. So they at this point in time, backed off. But I do not believe they backed off. Backed off temporarily. They probably backed off. And that, I think, is the evening news roundup. There's not a lot of other significant events. There was a car that was attacked a couple hours ago, 2, 3, 4, and some guys got killed in the car, but I haven't heard that they're very high-ranking terrorists. I've heard they're terrorists, but not top tier, you know. Okay, so I send my shalom to all those who love Yeshua HaMashiach, and I'm out.